Once upon a time in a bustling city, there lived a young woman named Sarah. She was in her late 20s, ambitious, and had a heart full of dreams. Sarah was a firm believer in gender equality and often found herself advocating for women's rights. Her belief in equality extended to every aspect of her life, including her love life. One sunny Saturday morning, Sarah received a text message from her friend Emma. "Hey Sarah, want to grab coffee this afternoon? I have something exciting to share." Sarah was intrigued by Emma's message and quickly replied, "Of course, Emma. I'd love to catch up. How about we meet at our favorite cafe around 3 p.m.? Emma agreed, and they set a date for their coffee catch-up. As Sarah got ready for her meeting with Emma, she couldn't help but wonder what exciting news her friend had to share. Little did she know that this coffee date would lead her on a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. When Sarah arrived at the cafe, she found Emma already waiting at their favorite corner table. The two friends exchanged warm hugs and sat down. Emma couldn't contain her excitement and blurted out, "Sarah, I have some incredible news. I've met someone special and I think he might be the one." Sarah smiled and said, "That's wonderful, Emma. Tell me all about it. What's he like?" Emma described her new love interest, James, in great detail. She spoke of his kindness, sense of humor, and shared interests. Sarah couldn't help but feel happy for her friend as she listened to her talk about James. But as Emma continued to talk, she mentioned something that caught Sarah's attention. "You know, Sarah, one of the things I really like about James is that he insists on paying for our dates. He believes that men should be the ones to take care of these expenses, and I find it incredibly charming." Sarah raised an eyebrow and asked, "Do you think that's the only way to show care and charm, Emma? What if you wanted to treat him to something special or split the bill occasionally?" Emma looked puzzled and responded, "Well, I never really thought about it that way. I guess it's just the way things have always been." The conversation lingered in Sarah's mind as she finished her coffee with Emma. She couldn't shake off the feeling that there was more to this issue than met the eye. That evening, Sarah decided to do some research on the topic of gender roles in dating and finances. She wanted to understand the historical context and cultural influences that had shaped these beliefs. What she discovered surprised her. Sarah's research revealed that the idea of men paying for dates had deep historical roots. In the past, women had limited financial independence, and it was expected that men would cover the costs of courtship as a way to demonstrate their ability to provide for a potential family. This traditional belief had persisted over the years, even as society evolved and women gained more financial independence. Sarah also came across stories of women who had challenged this norm. She read about strong, independent women who believed in equality in all aspects of their lives, including dating. These women didn't see the need for men to shoulder the financial burden of dating expenses and instead advocated for equal sharing or taking turns in covering the costs. Inspired by these stories, Sarah decided to have a conversation with Emma about her newfound perspective. She wanted to share her research and encourage her friend to think differently about gender roles in dating. A few days later, Sarah and Emma met for lunch at a cozy bistro. Sarah started the conversation by saying, "Emma, I've been thinking a lot about our chat at the cafe, and I'd like to share some things I've learned." Emma was curious and encouraged Sarah to continue. Sarah began, "I did some research on the history of men paying for dates, and it turns out it has roots in a time when women had limited financial independence. But things have changed, Emma. Women now have the opportunity to be financially independent and should have the choice to share dating expenses equally or take turns." Emma listened intently, and after a moment of reflection, she said, "You know, Sarah, I never really thought about it that way. I guess I've just been conditioned to expect certain things in dating." Sarah nodded and added, "It's not about denying chivalry or kindness, but rather about recognizing that both partners should have the opportunity to contribute and share the financial responsibilities. It's a matter of equality." Over the next few weeks, Sarah and Emma continued their discussions about gender roles in dating. Emma began to reconsider her perspective and had conversations with James about their expectations in the relationship. To her surprise, James was open to the idea of sharing expenses and taking turns paying for dates. As Emma and James's relationship grew, they found a balance that worked for them. They shared expenses for meals, activities, and even surprises for each other. Their relationship thrived, and they both felt empowered and respected in their choices. Inspired by her conversations with Emma, Sarah decided to take her research a step further. She started a blog to share stories and insights about dating, gender equality, and empowerment. She wanted to create a space where people could learn and discuss these important topics. The blog gained popularity quickly, attracting readers from all walks of life. Sarah shared stories of women who had challenged traditional dating norms and found strength in their independence. She also featured stories of men who were supportive and respectful of their partner's choices. As her blog grew, Sarah received messages from readers around the world, sharing their own experiences and seeking advice. She realized that her mission had evolved beyond her initial research. It had become a platform for empowering individuals to make choices that aligned with their values and beliefs. One of the most memorable messages Sarah received was from a young woman named Maya. Maya shared her story of leaving a relationship where she felt controlled and disempowered. She had read Sarah's blog and felt inspired to reclaim her independence and self-worth. Sarah and Maya developed a close friendship, and Sarah continued to support her through her journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Maya's story became a powerful example of how embracing equality in dating and relationships could lead to personal growth and strength. Years passed, and Sarah's blog continued to thrive as a hub for discussions on gender equality, dating, and empowerment. She had become a respected voice in the field and was invited to speak at conferences and events around the world. Sarah's journey had started with a simple coffee date with her friend Emma, but it had evolved into something much bigger, a movement for equality and empowerment in dating and relationships. As she looked back on her own journey and the impact she had made, Sarah knew that her mission was far from over. She was determined to keep spreading the message that women shouldn't have to worry about paying, not because they couldn't, but because they should have the freedom to choose what felt right for them.